Hello everyone, my name is Stanley. I'm a comic book author. You might know me from Smack Jeeves or Tapas or Comic Fury as Stanley Comics. I'm the author of Superhuman, which is a webcomic about two boys with superpowers who fight crime. Today I'll be taking you through the painful process of making a comic book page. So, this is actually sped up quite a bit. My initial recordings were very long, so I had to speed it up. Drawing a comic book page takes a long time. This is my process. Usually I would do my line art on Photoshop, but since my tablet broke down, that's impossible. So you're seeing me here lining my comic, going over the pencil art with a quill and some ink, like in the good old days. Yes, it's kind of vintage, but it does work pretty well, by the way. Back in the day, I think they used brushes to line their comics. At least Marvel did. But I'm gonna use a quill.
Girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their
So now I have my page all scanned and ready. Now that my page is all scanned and ready, it's time to fill in the black parts of the comic. Rise's shirt is black. A part of Sam's tank top is tank top is black, so I'm filling that in with black. I'm also cleaning up the line art. I need to learn how to line my comic better traditionally, because if I don't get my tablet fixed soon, this is how I'll have to be doing this. this is where I'm going to cheat. I'm kind of cleaning up the line art, but also, as you can now see, I'm using liquify on it to fix broken noses and stuff like that, eyes that are too wonky, blibbidi blah, do blah. I should look to do this part without having to use technology to aid me, because not all works of art are digital. If I'm doing the traditional piece, I need to be able to fix these things in advance. Now that the boring part is over, time to open up my previous page of the comic and take the color of the panel from that. Then I'm going to select my panels and color them in with that color. Now the reason I don't have a palette made is because these colors are specifically for these particular panels, and it just doesn't make sense for me to make a palette when I'm just going to use these colors for these pages. Now the blue in the panels is basically to signify nighttime, a specific nighttime, and it just doesn't make sense to make a palette about that, since nighttime usually tends to be different each night depending on atmospheric stuff, and also in my case depending on the mood of the scene. I'm selecting the characters with the polygon tool, which saves my life. If it wasn't the polygon tool, I wouldn't be able to even make my comic book. So I'm filling in the characters, their base colors, which I chose to be blue, and I'm going to build onto them with the light. So I'm kind of working backwards. I'm first adding in the shadows and then the lights. And this is a technique I got from another YouTuber whose name is Muhammad Agbadi. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but I'll leave a link in the description to his channel. He does a lot of coloring tutorials, comic book art tutorials. Of course, I'm not doing exactly what he's doing, but that's because, first of all, I'm not as good. Second of all, everyone colors in differently.
girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their
Oh yikes. Oh no. So I did an oopsie before scanning the page. A really big oopsie. I didn't draw the backgrounds, so I'm currently using the pen tool to do that. And fun fact, I don't really like using the pen tool for backgrounds. Actually, I should have used probably the brush tool for that part, and but used it with the shift key to make straight lines, because it kind of these things kind of look stiff and awkward. This lamppost is kind of it kind of doesn't look organic to me. I drew it in the next page, but I'm not really 100% okay with this. It's just kind of ugly. Like, I think that's how I drew the old lamps as well. But also these lamps are supposed to give you an eerie feeling. So I think this helps. The pen tool line art, because they do look kind of otherworldly and eerie. And since I'm lazy, I just copied and pasted all of these and threw them onto the other panels as background. Oh my god, why am I doing this? Not this video, but like, I'm looking back at what I've done, and I realize that I could have done it better if I thought ahead. So this is actually, oh no, the cloud. This is actually very helpful. It reminds me that it's very important to think ahead before you scan your line art. Oh my god, finally we're at the interesting part. Okay, so I'm picking up the base colors of the characters and I am adding them as lights. And I am using the lasso tool to select an area, and then the soft brush to kind of plop the light in there. And it's the most interesting part of the video, but it's at the same time the shortest because the video became too long and I decided to split it to 2 parts. So if this goes viral for any reason, I'm going to be very, very happy. And you'll have part 2 to look forward to. But the hard thing about these videos is it takes a long time to edit. The filming process is blah. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy, but the editing process is very difficult, so I probably should have better software to do this with. Because I have good software, but it just takes longer and I'll just need to get something to make the process quicker a little bit. Okay, so this is the end of the video. This is part 1 of me trying to draw my own comic book, which is called Superhuman. Follow me. Link in the description below. I also have a Redbubble shop. I have a DeviantArt account. I have many things. Which are all in the description below. I post my comic on Tapas, Comic Fury, and Smack Jeeves. So go follow me there, and I'll see you in the next video, I guess.